welcome back to my channel. I was going to attempt to make this video while I was painting some things, these little guys, but that ain't gonna happen because I can't do two things at once and stay on track. So refilming, here we go. So today I wanted to talk about the depth year and my depth year plans and how I think it's gonna work out. I don't know. I have a tendency to over-explain and over-speak, so I might end up babbling at some point, which hopefully not, but I'm gonna try not to. Get yourself some coffee, wine, beer, whatever, water. I'm not quite sure how long this video is going to be, so I'm going to try to keep it more concise than I normally would, but this is me we're talking about. There's no promises here. So, I'm not going to go into huge detail into what a depth year is. There are many videos about a depth year, and a lot of it I've noticed is very popular in the pagan witchy community. Personally speaking, that's the only reference point I have, mainly because that's the group I follow most, and they're the ones talking about it. So or were back in the day when 2019, 2020, that kind of thing. Of course, 2020 hit the fan, but there were, you know, people still dabbling with the idea before the pandemic hit that they would try a depth year. But anyway, so I'm still kind of establishing myself as far as living alone and making a life for myself by myself without another human being around in the house with me to kind of have to keep an eye on or keep into consideration when I'm buying things and getting things, you know, for the house. So I'm still working on that, but so I'm still like household items and things, all that kind of stuff is budgeted into what I plan on doing. But as far as like frivolous buying, books, I don't want to get any new books until I've read what I have on my shelf. I will keep maybe like a running list of the books that I do want to purchase in the future, or if I go to like a coffee shop and it has a bookstore in it, I might browse and maybe find something, but more like things like that. But as far as new books, I'm not planning on purchasing any of them. I might go to the library and actually get my card because I don't have one right now. So I might do that sometime soon and get books that way if I have the urge to get a new book, but I can't. But a lot of the books that I like to read, I have a feeling that public libraries aren't going to have because they're too dangerous, you know. Like books on esoteric theory and just pagan and witchcraft based novels and books. So like, I don't know, I don't read a ton of fiction anymore, but maybe, I don't know, maybe I'll try it. But anyway, I'm babbling already, look at that. No new art supplies. I want those to be on replacement only. I have so much paint. I'm slowly going through it and getting rid of it. Not getting rid of it, but like working with it and using it. So, you know, experimenting with different color palettes on my paintings as of late has been helpful. I don't need specific colors to make specific skin tones and things like that anymore. So, I kind of just intuitively, I pick a few colors and see how it works, and luckily with acrylic you can just paint over it if you don't like it, so I've been doing that a lot. I have colors that I tend to stick to and go to all the time, and I'm trying to break myself of that habit, like yellow and purple, blue and orange. I tend to do a lot more like complementary colors because they're bold and whatever, but it doesn't really leave, like I've been trying to do more like monochromatic stuff, or very, I don't know, I'm experimenting basically is what I'm trying to say. So I'm going through the paint that I have, so that's good. So yeah, any paint's going to be on a replacement only basis, and I do have different paints for different things. So I have my heavy body acrylic paint that I utilize for my canvas paintings, like this dude behind me. Hello, Freddy. And then I've got like paints like these that I use for like crafts, and like, you know, these things that I was painting earlier for a garland. So things like that. I don't plan on buying any more, unless it's for a commission. I don't plan on buying any more like stuff for my mixed media paintings. Man, those crows are loud outside. Yeah, I'm trying to cut back on the spending of my art supplies. I did it a lot when I was in school, but that's to be expected because I was experimenting with a bunch of different new things and I wanted to try it all, and it was a hyper focus. So what else is new? That's what you do when you hyper focus on something, right? Oh man, okay. So I'm trying to limit my takeout splurging. I tend to go back to the same comfort foods all the time, which would be pizza and sushi. Both of which add up if you buy them often enough. Even if you don't buy them often enough anymore, it adds up with delivery fees and all that. So I'm trying to already, prior to this depth year, stop with that. I'm trying to, there was a lot of like mental health things going on that kind of prevented me from having the energy to really want to cook, so I would kind of like use that as a crutch for a little while, especially when I first moved in here. But now that kind of has blown over for the most part, and I've kind of gotten a handle on everything, I have more energy to cook and cook in batches, and I like making soups, so I'm gonna make some soups and freeze them and all that good stuff. I do have a savings goal that I want to do by the end of 2023. It is kind of conservative and small. It's $5,000, but I think if I can do that, then I'll feel a lot better and I'll be in a better place. It's gonna take a lot of, because I've been trying to establish myself in this apartment and whatever future apartment I get, and budgeting out my bills and stuff, I've been spending a lot more than I would normally. So I think by cutting out a lot of the frivolous spending I've been doing, that'll help me get to that goal a lot faster than probably the end of 2023, hopefully. So we'll see how that goes. I do have weekly social engagements. So like once a week I go to a a bar, and we play a game called Golden Tee, which is a golf game. That's in a video game. I've only played it for the first time last week, but you know, it's just something to do. It's a social thing, and otherwise I'm not a very social person. I don't really get out much or do anything, so it kind of forces me to be social. So I kind of make it a point to do those types of things. It's not too expensive, so I don't have any qualms really going once a week. And if it gets to the point where I don't go, I don't go. Like lay off a week or something. I'm not in any sort of, they're in tournament. They're in like a league. I don't do the league, so it doesn't bother me if I have to not go for a week. Let's see, what else is on my list? So I have art goals, which they're just goals. I have a show coming up in February, so I have about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have about 7 paintings I need to finish by February. I'm working diligently, and a lot of them are close to being finished. They're just kind of at that stage where it's like, I don't know what else to add right now, so I let them sit for a while. That's pretty much where they're at, kind of. They're kind of almost towards the home stretch. It's just, I just kind of gotta sit with them for a while. So I have a lot of art goals and things that I want to get done by the beginning of February, but as far as like the end of the year, I don't really have any goals, so I might just see where I'm at. How many of those pieces, if any, sell would be cool. So we'll see. And I do want to spend some more money and be more engaged in the art world. I do want to go to the art museum more often. I do like spending quality solitude, or want to try doing that. And instead of being holed up in my apartment all the time, I'd like to maybe go to a coffee shop and journal. There's a lot of local coffee shops, but unfortunately, in my case, you have to drive everywhere. There's nothing within walking distance, so it's kind of a bummer. That's kind of why I hold off on going anywhere, because I don't want to drive there. It's just, I did it a lot when I was at school and when I was married, but I was already out. Like that was kind of my thing. Like I never kind of I would go to school, and then I would go to a Starbucks, and then I would work on my homework or sketching or whatever the hell it was that I needed to do while I was at a coffee shop already for something else. So I never really would make that my goal for the day, to get up and go to a coffee shop and journal, or just observe, or just be. It was always a goal. There was always a reason. I was already out and about. I had already done something earlier that day. I was already out driving around, and I would just stop on my way home and do it that way. Well, now I'm trying to force myself out of the house more, mainly because all I do is go to work and come home. I don't really go anywhere. I don't really hang out with many people. I don't do a lot of things outside of my little bubble. And if I can move my bubble outside of my apartment once in a while, that would be nice. So, yeah. And if it's a 5-minute drive, it's a 5-minute drive, but it's a drive nonetheless. And that kind of annoys me, because I hate getting into my car. I hate driving if I don't have a reason to. but I'm trying to reframe my mindset because getting out into the world is self-care. So, you know, not constantly being holed up in your own apartment is a good thing every once in a while. So I think we had enough of that the last 2 years, so I'm trying to get out in public more and you know, be around others, even though it's not my favorite thing, but it is what it is. So I don't know if I rambled too much. I'm sorry if I did. I'm sure I'll make a revision on this. It'll depend on where my savings are at by the time 2023 hits. So I think maybe by Yule time I'll probably have a sort of revised list here. There's some things I didn't mention, like there's things that I do want to buy, like camping gear, but I'm waiting until the off season for that kind of stuff, so that would be more of like a beginning of the year kind of purchase type of thing. So that's neither here nor there. I'll probably have some sort of revision maybe later on in a couple of months, but until then, this was my tentative depth year goals and ideas and thoughts on it. So yeah, let me know in the comments if any of you are planning on doing a depth year, and if so, what are your plans? What are your thoughts? Are you interested in trying to do it, or are you just gonna say screw it, the economy sucks and there's no reason to try and save because this inflation is out of whack? Who knows? You know, my whole depth year might get derailed due to inflation. Who knows? So we'll see. That's why it's tentative right now. So with that being said, I hope you guys have a great week, weekend, whatever day it is for you watching this, and I'll see you guys in the next one.